Are only vaccinated people allowed to vote in Germany? This claim about the federal election is circulating on the net, but this is not true. We at DW examine why. Let's take a closer look. This tweet says people without a COVID vaccination cannot vote in Germany and are banned from entering polling stations. There is even talk of electoral fraud. Beatrix von Storch, an MP from the far-right Alternative for Germany party, known as AfD, alleged that the federal returning officer had also considered banning unvaccinated people in a response to his tweet. Are unvaccinated people really denied the right to vote? False. Fact is, unvaccinated people are allowed to vote at the polling stations like everyone else if they observe the applicable hygiene measures. They can also vote by post. Voters have the right to cast their ballots regardless of their vaccination status, confirms the federal returning officer to DW.
Selbstverständlich auch da ist es so, dass die Ungeimpften wählen können im Wahllokal. Sie können auch Briefwahl machen. Aber wir müssen gewisse Schutzvorkehrungen treffen. Einmal, um die Person selbst zu schützen, den Wähler, und auf der anderen Seite aber auch die Wahlhelfer zu schützen. Und deshalb ist es sicherlich zulässig, dass man eine Maske trägt. Ansonsten wird natürlich gerne gesehen, dass man geimpft, getestet und genesen ist. Das wäre besonders schön. Aber wählen kann grundsätzlich jeder.
More than 60 million eligible voters will be able to elect a new parliament this year. Many Germans have one concern. Can the election be manipulated through disinformation? 82% fear exactly that, according to a survey. And more than every second person has stumbled across politically motivated fake news online. What can you do about it? We will show you some fakes and also how to recognize them. Let's take the examples of election posters. They are currently hanging all over Germany, but not all of them are real. This one says, everyone is talking about the climate. We are ruining it. A clear fake. The CDU confirmed the poster is not theirs. Extinction Rebellion, a group of environmental activists, confirmed that it's their work. This is a special form of so-called negative campaigning, the attempt to defame political opponents. Even if they're meant to be satirical, some might consider the posters to be genuine. Some fake election posters also target top politicians. CDU's chancellor candidate Armin Laschet is misquoted here. Flood, I can only laugh about that. That's a fake.
Was ich persönlich noch ein bisschen schlimmer finde, weil da wirklich Menschen Sachen in den Mund gelegt werden, die sie so nie gesagt haben oder die sie überhaupt nie gesagt haben. Und das ist schon ein Problem in der demokratischen Auseinandersetzung in diesem Wahlkampf.
These posters were hanging in some major German cities and intended to ridicule the Greens and their goals. The Greens made it clear it is a fake. Both the CDU and the Greens party suspect these are smear campaigns by political parties like the far-right AfD.
Ja, da steht ja der ungeheuerliche Vorwurf im Raum, dass das hier eine illegale Parteienfinanzierung zugunsten der AfD ist und die AfD hier aus unklaren Kassen negativen Wahlkampf finanziert. Diesem Vorwurf, diesem Verdacht muss nachgegangen werden.
Such campaigns often see the false posters circulate on social media, with some even going viral. Most attacks take place digitally, and the Greens are particularly affected in the German election. According to an investigation by the NGO Avaaz, their chancellor candidate Annalena Baerbock is by far the most frequent target of disinformation.
Jetzt im Vergleich zu Herrn Armin Laschet und Herrn Olaf Scholz war sie von 71% der Desinformationsnarrative betroffen, dann Herr Laschet mit 29% und Herr Scholz 0%. Und das andere, was wir noch recht spannend fanden, war, dass in der Umfrage, die wir auch dann gemacht haben mit YouGov oder von YouGov gemacht wurde, dass 56% der Menschen gesagt haben, dass sie mindestens eine der Falschnachrichten über Annalena Baerbock gesehen haben. Und
Some of the misinformation circulating online says that Baerbock is planning to terminate widow pension in order to accommodate migrants. Or this bizarre one, that she would ban pets because they emit carbon dioxide. These are false. Baerbock never claimed such things. Such claims are not listed in the Greens' election manifesto either. Armin Laschet from the conservative CDU experienced another political hit. He was wrongly accused of siphoning off donations for Germany's flood victims toward his own election campaign. This claim is also unsubstantiated and false. The money collected from the donations has already been partially paid out to the flood victims. We hardly found any disinformation on Olaf Scholz or his party, the SPD. However, some fakes are also directed against the election itself, especially the postal vote. A record number of postal ballots are expected this year due to the pandemic. Some claim the postal vote is easy to manipulate, and that someone could also cast a ballot using the names of dead people. Does that sound familiar to you? Donald Trump and the Republicans used similar rhetoric in the 2020 US presidential election, but to date there is no evidence of systemic manipulation of postal voting. And in Germany, can postal votes be easily manipulated? Misleading. When voting by post, nobody can guarantee that a voter casts their vote without any influence from third parties. However, the postal ballot itself is protected against misuse through several measures.
Und in der Briefwahl selbst muss man erklären, eine eidesstattliche Versicherung, dass man das selbst ausgefüllt hat. Das ist der erste Schutz. Der zweite Schutz, in dem Moment, wo Sie die Briefwahl beantragen, wird ein sogenannter Sperrvermerk niedergelegt und Sie können nur mit der Briefwahlunterlage noch wählen.
Have you come across fakes lately? What should we take a closer look at next time? Let us know in the comments below or by mail at factchecking@dw.com.